Hi guys, and welcome to this series of relay module PCB. So in this series we're actually creating our own relay module PCB. So it's going to be at the end this PCB. So this is an actual photo of our result at the end of this series, right? So here is the module. This is our relay. We have two 3-pin terminals for attaching our wires right here. We're having two 220 ohms resistors, two LEDs, and one 2N2222 transistor. And of course, this copper PCB. So this is actually the design of the PCB. So these are our traces right here, and this is the design of the silk screen, but it's actually mirrored or flipped horizontally, because when we're going to print this and transfer it to our PCB, it's going to be flipped. So we have to flip it here first. So both of these designs are made on A6 paper, so you should print them on A6 photoglossy paper. I'm using A6 150 grams photo paper actually, so it must be glossy paper or transparent or that transparent paper, okay? And you must also print both designs using a laser printer. This is very important. So for this tutorial, we're gonna start with the traces. So I'm going to print these traces on the paper, and let's get started. Okay, so the first thing that we're gonna do is actually cleaning this surface of the PCB right here. So we're gonna use a steel scourer for this process. We're gonna just scrub the surface like this to get all the dirt off it. We can also use alcohol for this. So we're going to spray some alcohol on the surface of our PCB and just try to clean it as we can. So it's now nice and clean. So what we're going to do is actually get our PCB that we want to print on this board. So this is our design that we're having right here. So what we're going to do is just put on our design on the PCB just like this. And then we're going to use our iron, and we're going to start ironing this PCB to our board just like that. So we're going to just place the iron and apply some pressure for like a minute or so. And this process is actually called thermal transfer process, and it transfers the ink that is printed on our laser printer to the PCB by using the heat coming from our iron. But make sure that your iron is set to the highest temperature and that there is no sort of steam coming from the iron, because it can ruin the whole process that we're doing right here. So we're just now moving the iron gently on our PCB just like that, to make sure that the temperature is well distributed over our PCB. Alright, so it's been like a good couple of minutes now. So what we're gonna do next is actually take this PCB, but carefully, and we want to soak it in warm water. So we're gonna just take this and soak it in the warm water for like a good 2 minutes. Okay, so now what we're gonna want to do is just try to peel off this this paper right here, just gently, just like that, under the water, and just try to gently clean any residues of the paper under the water, just like I'm doing right here. Okay, so as you can see here, our PCB is well done and the thermal transfer was successful. So now let's move to the following stage. Okay, so right now we are going to be using the etching acid, or basically ferric chloride. And this solution actually like eats the metal, if this makes any sense. So it's going to remove the copper that we're having right here, but the copper that is covered with our ink will not be removed. So basically it's going to remove all of this, leaving us our traces at the end. So be careful when using this solution. I recommend you use gloves. I recommend you be in a well ventilated area. Don't use your hand directly with this fluid. Try to be using any plastic thing or so to get access to your PCB board. So what we're gonna do is just put the board in the solution just like this, and we're going to be gently just give it a gentle push like this every like 2 minutes or so. We'll be leaving our board in here for around 15 minutes in order to be ready. So as you can see now, our PCB is starting to get done. So we're gonna put it again and just give it a nice shake. So here is our PCB. It's done, as you can see right here. So right now we're going to wash our PCB just like this to clear all the ferric chloride solution that we've been using. Okay, so here's our PCB. So what we're gonna want to do now is use the steel scorer to remove this ink right here, so we'll be left with the copper traces. So we're gonna use this steel scorer and the alcohol for sure. So here is the final look of our PCB, as you see right here. So that's it guys for this tutorial. See you in the next one.